Shalom. You are listening to the Leading Hope podcast. My name is VJ Williams and always joined by my friend and pastor, Kevin Jack. Thank you for taking time out of your day to become a better leader. If you are new to the podcast, the easiest way to remember every week is to hit that subscribe button right there on the podcast platform that you are on today, and share this with a friend, right, Kevin?
Right.
Where would they share this?
On social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Look at that.
All these things.
It's we haven't been gone very long.
Facebook,
but we
social
were
media
gone.
for complaining, Instagram, social media for photos, YouTube, social media for videos.
That's right. All of it's there.
We've had a whole month off.
We have.
We might be a little rusty.
And please rate and review on Apple Podcast. A few extra minutes doing that actually will help this get into the hands of many more leaders just like you. And visit leadinghope.online to get updates and find out more about the Leading Hope community. There, I said it. We are ready to go.
We're here.
Season 2, episode 83.
Episode 83, where every season 2 begins.
Bam!
On episode 83.
That should be a Netflix standard. Season 2, episode 83.
Hey, we're so excited to be back with you. We took the last month off to kind of retool. We got a slightly new set in this whole area.
Yeah.
Gonna do some things different this time around. So I'm really excited, but still committed to doing, short form podcasting. Everyone has 20 minutes to become a better leader. We want to be a leadership tool that you can use that will help you continuously learn, get better, keep your edge as a leader. You got anything you want to add?
No, everything you just said is exactly right.
Good. So the title of the podcast for today is No More Gold Stars.
No more gold
No
stars.
more gold stars. And we want you to know, hey, we're tracking along with Facebook and YouTube. And so, hey, if you want to ask a question in or make a comment, we'll be watching that, or VJ will be watching that as we go. Or if you're watching this afterwards, just so you know, hey, it's on every podcast platform, and we're live on Wednesdays at 11:30. But the intro for today is this idea. So when I was growing up, I never once received the perfect attendance award in school. And I know some of you overachievers, you got perfect attendance like every year. It was money in the bank. You count on it before it started. Were you a perfect attendance person?
I tried.
So that's a no. So never got it, but I was like a really healthy kid. And the reason why I never got the perfect attendance award was because every single year my whole extended family lived back in Pittsburgh, and we would go back there. And so I'd always miss a day for school, like Thanksgiving, miss a couple days around Christmas. And so I'd always miss like 3 or 4 days. And it drove me crazy because at the end of the year, all my friends who were healthy, who had well built up immunity systems, I was going to make other comments, but we'll just keep going.
Yep.
Well-built-up immunity systems. They got to go to a pizza party at the end of the year. And this made me so mad. I was like, I never get to do the pizza party because I keep getting pulled out to go on vacation and do these other things. And at one point in time, I remember my mom had this conversation with me. She goes, wouldn't you rather go on vacation than have a pizza party? Like, wouldn't you rather be able to go to these other places than to just be able to eat a slice of pizza from Domino's or Little Caesars Hot and Ready for one day? And it was like,
Wow.
well, yeah, of course I would.
Mom's a genius.
Mom's a genius. There we go. Put that in the notes.
Yep.
So we've got that. Like, of course I would rather. And it made me aware of this, like, just kind of thing that goes on. So leaders understand that what's rewarded is repeated.
Ooh.
Leaders understand when they're setting up a system, designing a culture, doing something that they want to be a part of, the common behavior, part of the habits of the people in their organization, that what's rewarded is repeated. If you reward something, people will naturally do more of it. But here becomes a problem. Is we all end up being drawn to what is rewarded. Okay, so the leader understands what's rewarded is repeated. And so as followers, which follower is not a bad thing, we covered that in season 1.
Yes.
That as a follower, we go, okay, so we do what is rewarded. And I just want to say, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe that shouldn't be our focus, to do what has been rewarded. So let me break this down in a couple different ways for you. So if you're in school, Are straight A's worth it to you? Graduating, being magna cum, summa cum, laude, loud, whatever that is for you. It wasn't me. Perfect attendance, getting the dean's list. Like, these things are offered before you, and like, oh, you need this. And I just want to say, hey, is that worth it? Like, I understand if you need to hit this certain level in order to get to the next school that you really want to be in, or to get accepted into the program, you need to do that. But I also want to ask this, like, if you're in college and you have all these different opportunities before you, and your primary learning environment isn't just the classroom. It's internships, it's other jobs, it's experiences, it's trips, it's friendships, it's relationships. Like, all of these are part of your development. And you're spending all of your time trying to hit the dean's list. I just want to say, are you trying to hit the dean's list just because it's a list that your name's on that means you did something? Or are you trying to hit the list because it actually matters? Let's say you're at work and there is a financial bonus, okay? I just want to say, like, all of us are intuitively like, hey, if I hit this sales quota or hit this thing. Now, I want to acknowledge, like, I work in a church.
Yeah.
So I have no idea how this would work in a church that wouldn't make me want to vomit immediately in terms of a financial bonus. Like, if you get 4 more people baptized,
Oh, man.
$50.
Oh, boy.
Gross, vomit,
Yeah.
puke emoji, all those things. But to say, like, hey, we all intuitively go, like, hey, if you do this, you'll hit this bonus.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? Like, have you actually paused to consider, is this actually worth it? As adults, you're rewarded for volunteering. You're rewarded for participation. You ready? Here's the one. Like, you're rewarded for having the nicest lawn, or maybe just not having the worst lawn. And like, oh my goodness, I've had so many like, oh, I like this. Oh, how'd you get that? Oh, this looks amazing. And to go, is that worth it for you? Or are you just doing it because everyone else cares about it, and so you're doing as well? So here's the thing that I just kind of want to start off season 2, episode 83 with this idea.
It's never going to die.
We are all drawn to the thing that gets the gold star. Is the reward actually worth it for the effort that you're putting forth? Because if you aren't aware of what actually matters to you, if you're not clearly aware to go, I'm going to do the things that I'm already motivated to do. I want to do the things that I deeply care about. What will happen is you will end up living the life that someone else rewards and not the life that you desire. You'll live the life that someone else rewards, not the life that you desire. So I want to take you all the way back to the classroom, and then we'll jump in and see what we have.
The classroom.
The classroom, and they had the like board, and they had all the names, and if you did the thing, you got the gold star. And there, could I just tell you? Could I just like show all my cards?
Absolutely.
And the kind of person
Please
that I
do.
am. I never got the gold star.
Never.
It didn't matter what it was. It was like bake sale. No stars for Kevin.
If I got the gold star, it was because like 5 people didn't show up that day.
There you go. Just, like,
Right, like-
just by process of attrition,
Right.
you ended up making your way.
Exactly. Thank you.
So I just want to say this, like, if you're doing it just to get your name on the list or just because it's rewarded, you need to pause for a second and go, why am I actually doing this? Because I'm living someone else's life that they've rewarded instead of the one that I desire.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, listen, if you have a question, throw it in the chat right now. If you're on YouTube or are on Facebook, that's a great place to do that. We want to say hi to Donnie, who's watching, and Abby, and Bethany.
Bethany and Donna and Lisa.
Yeah, just to let you guys know, we really appreciate you being on here and sharing this with everyone. You know, you asked the question. I think it's so interesting. There's a lot to unpack here, by the way.
So much on motivation.
Yeah. The thing is, you say, is it worth it? Another way to ask that is, what did you exchange it for?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Talk more about that, because is it worth it is a good question. And sometimes another question to ask is, okay, you went all out to get the gold star. What did you exchange it for and why?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the thing that we just need to realize is some of us are so drawn to external affirmation that we will literally do whatever is asked of us just to get that external affirmation. And so you can throw it in 1,000 different ways. You go, whether it's a gold star by your name, whether it's getting your name on a list. Like, you could just go down the line. One of the things I laugh at in church world is they, in our denomination, they reward churches who give a certain amount. Like, we all give a certain amount
Right.
around the world and other stuff, but who give a percentage on top of that.
Yeah.
One of the things I laugh when pastors are like coming into the ministry and they're unfamiliar with kind of our church systems, they're like, well, what happens if you do that? You get your name on a list. Like, okay. Like, you would be shocked at how powerful the pull of your name on the list is, because for most people that's more than enough.
Yeah.
And to go, is that really worth it? Does that matter?
Yeah, and the other thing that I wanted to just talk about for a few minutes here is there are two reasons in my mind. There's multiple reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 100 reasons why you want the gold star. One is we have, as humans, an innate mindset, ability, whatever, to achieve.
Yep.
Right? Doesn't matter what it is.
Yep.
It's just an achievement. It's a level. It's like why we have, why you have those on your wrist, is so that we can achieve something. But there's got to be a value attached to the achievement that makes it worth it. Other ways, sometimes the other reason that people want the gold star is for recognition.
Yeah.
Right? I want to be recognized for my achievement. How do we change our mindset around that and really dive into the actual purpose of what we're going for?
So, just to be blunt, like oh my goodness, that's a much longer podcast.
It is.
Is say on that. That's a whole
Is that
series
season
on
3?
on deep-seated motivations, and I'm committed to less series, more individual podcasts, so people
Episode
can
166,
track with it.
season 3.
On this. But I think the biggest thing that I want to accomplish just in this episode for people is if we could do the metaphorical pull the curtain back on the wizard.
Okay.
And to say it like this, like, hey, let's lose all the smoke. Let's lose all the mysteriousness behind it.
Yeah.
And to say most of the things that we're working towards in terms of rewards don't matter. And it's not something that we care about to begin with.
Yeah.
And we're intuitively drawn to what's rewarded. And if you don't care about the reward and you actually look at the exchange that you're making for the thing that's being rewarded and you go, that doesn't matter, it's just to be able to say, quit doing that.
Yeah.
Like, quit doing that.
Yeah.
So, perfect attendance. We understand, and if we have any school administrators on this, they're going to be like, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it now. But, like, part of the design of rewarding perfect attendance is because schools get funding based upon attendance percentages.
Sure.
At least some schools do. I don't know how every single school district works. So, I get why they're rewarding that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say, like, if you have perfect attendance every single year in school, what are you trading for that?
Right. Yeah. What
So
in exchange?
You
Yeah,
get the
exactly.
certificate. Yes, there is absolutely, someone will always comment back, like,
Sure.
there's absolutely something that is gained from consistency and being there.
Absolutely.
I'm not devaluing
Right.
it. Dean's List, if you made that, I applaud
Yes.
the accomplishment.
Absolutely.
Because that is an accomplishment. But I
Absolutely.
just want to pause and say a question and go, everything that the authorities in your life reward won't be worth it to you.
Yeah.
Have you actually paused to consider, is it worth it to you to receive that award?
Yeah, and you brought this up some time ago. Oh, I can't remember, but was it Seth Godin had something about
Yeah.
that? About
So we were talking about that.
Oh,
Seth
okay.
Godin had a similar thing on straight A's.
it was just an interesting concept.
Yeah. And he just said college has all these experiences in the world. And if you're spending your entire time in the library, you are missing out on a large bulk of those formative experiences.
Yeah, it's
And you need to answer for that.
yeah,
Which is
inter-
like-
yeah,
We would never think of that to go,
Right.
you need to answer for why you got everything right and everything perfect.
Yeah.
So I sent an email out to our whole team this morning.
okay.
Ready? I misspelled weather.
Oh,
Now, I want to be clear. I know how to spell weather. It's not W-E-A-T-H-E-R. I misspelled W-H-E-T-H-E-R.
Gotcha.
No, I spelled
figured
it
that.
W-E. It's a typo. Ready? It is not worth it to me, the time on emails to people who I know and am in constant communication with, to go back and do a spell and grammar check on every single thing. It's not what my goal is, not perfectly crafted emails that exist as memos. My goal is to communicate information, then move on to the next thing. If you can figure out whether
Yeah.
what I meant by that,
Right.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
That's not what I take pride in.
The investment at that moment did not trump the actual what you were trying to get across.
Yeah. Now, I would be clear, when someone said you spelled weather wrong, I was like, are you kidding me?
Well, yeah.
I spelled weather wrong? How did I was like making sure I wasn't
Makes
way
you
off.
think for next time.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm still not going to change it.
Sure.
Because it doesn't matter that much to me.
Right. We got a question here from Derek. Derek says, as leaders, how we or you emphasize the process of getting to the gold star. Sometimes the steps and the process of getting to the end goal is beneficial for our long-term development, regardless of whether we value the gold star or not.
Oh, agreed entirely.
Yeah.
So some of those rewards in there will help you push
Yeah.
more towards it, help you grow within there. So let's run it all the way back to the school one on perfect attendance. It teaches you consistency. It teaches you showing up whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
The danger is that becomes the pattern for your life.
Right.
And whatever is rewarded is now the thing that you go after.
I think that's the clarification at the end of the day for this podcast specifically, is that the gold star in and of itself is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's how you view it
Yeah.
that could actually be detrimental to your development.
So could I just give you talked about the exchange.
Right.
Let's say you get a financial bonus. You're in sales. Let's say you get a financial bonus for hitting a certain sales quota. In order for you to, because you're driven, you're
Right.
motivated, you will push to hit that sales quota. What do you miss in the process? What do you miss with your family? What do you miss in terms of your personal health? What else gets lost? Because the reality is that we don't have intrinsic rewards for relationships, for health, for any of these other things. There is no gold star at the end of the day for that. And so because someone external can put a reward on it, we automatically drive towards it. And in the end, we're actually worse than we were before,
Yeah.
even though we may have hit the financial bonus.
And that happens more often than we think when we're trying to achieve the gold star. And we're using the gold star, just so we know, for a multitude of things that
Yeah.
we're trying to, just so it's, because I saw someone say the gold star, no, I want my gold star, and I get it. I'm with you. It's not that we don't want the gold star. It's what are we losing or exchanging for it.
Absolutely.
We are about out of time here, Kevin. What
It's
do you
been
want?
good to be back,
I tell you what,
V.
it is so good to be back here and be able to just go live. And remember, this does come out again tomorrow. So if you missed any of this, you'll be able to catch it on Apple Podcast or any of your podcast platforms. All those are available. We're back again. Kevin, how was your time off, man? What did you do with that? The 4 full, was it 4 or 5 weeks?
June,
Wednesdays?
whatever June
Yeah.
was.
I mean, that's
30 days.
That's a lot of non-podcasting.
Well, let's be clear. I still kind of preached and led and did the whole pastor thing.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
father
yeah.
and parents.
On the weekends.
Yeah, on the weekend. I kept up my side gig.
But yeah, seriously though, I mean, did you discover anything that you are excited about coming up for this show?
No, it was good for this show.
Yeah, for this podcast?
Now, one of the things that we talked about gave us a chance to kind of retool and look at, hey, what are we really trying to do? Is for when we said, hey, I want to do less series on this because sometimes those are hard to track with over time and it's too much content in the time that we have. So I want to do some more core ideas that help shape and drive us as leaders. The other piece was to acknowledge to say, hey, we started this podcast to help in leadership development within our Hope team at our church, our staff primarily, and then also to be a valuable resource to other people in ministry and leadership as a whole. And one of the things that we maybe want to reconfigure is we said we have been less scripture faith heavy. It has sometimes come out, but it has not been a core focus. And we said, hey, we want to change that. Season 2, starting with episode 83, 84, we want to look more on that in our lives.
Which I'm super excited about.
Me too.
It's going to be fun, and we can't wait to have you guys a part of this. How do you want to wrap up episode 83, No More Gold Stars?
So I really just want to communicate to people to say the leadership trick, the tool that leaders learn, is what's rewarded is repeated because people will naturally follow after what is rewarded. You need to make sure for yourself that what's rewarded is worth it to you, that the things that you're giving up to receive that reward are worth that exchange so that you're actually living
That's
the
good.
life that you want. So don't do it just because of the gold star. Don't do it just because it's rewarded. Do it because it's worth it, it matters, you care about it, and you're growing from it.
That's awesome. Man, it's great to be back. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. If you are new, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't yet subscribed, you get this on Wednesday every week. Do that now. You won't believe how that helps get this podcast in the hands of so many more leaders like you. If you have a story of how Leading Hope has maybe helped you along the way, visit leadinghope.online and let us know what's going on. And remember, everyone has 20 minutes to learn to become a better leader. Make it count.